You know, there comes a moment in every person's life when you feel like you just can't go on anymore. You wake up in the morning and that heaviness is there. That feeling that everything is too much. The job feels meaningless. The relationships feel draining. Even the things that used to bring you joy now feel like obligations. You're tired. Not just physically tired, but tired in your soul. Tired of trying. Tired of failing. Tired of hoping. Tired of everything. And I want to tell you something right now. That feeling, that exhaustion, that place you're in right now, it's not the end. It's actually the beginning. Because when you're tired of everything, when you've reached that point where you can't pretend anymore, where you can't fake it anymore, where you can't keep going through the motions, that's when real transformation becomes possible. That's when you're finally ready to make a change. Not a little change, not a surface change, but a real, fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your life. See, most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort, running from pain, running from themselves. They fill their days with distractions and busy work and other people's problems because they don't want to face what's really going on inside. But when you're tired of everything, you can't run anymore. You don't have the energy. And that's actually a gift. Because now you have to stop, you have to be still. You have to look at what's really there. The tiredness you're feeling, it's not just about needing a vacation or a good night's sleep. It's your soul telling you that something is out of alignment. You've been living in a way that doesn't match who you really are. You've been trying to fit into a life that was designed by other people's expectations, other people's rules, other people's definitions of success. And your inner being, your true self, is exhausted from pretending. It's tired of the act. It's ready to come home. Think about this for a moment. When you were born, you came into this world with unlimited potential. You were pure possibility. You didn't have any beliefs about what you couldn't do. You didn't worry about what other people thought. You didn't have any fear of failure because you didn't even know what failure was. You were just you, expressing yourself naturally, reaching for what interested you, crying when you needed something, laughing when something delighted you. You were authentic. You were real. You were free. But then something happened. The world got to you. Your parents, with all their love and all their own fears, started teaching you how to be safe. Your teachers taught you how to fit in. Your friends taught you how to be cool. Society taught you what success looks like. And slowly, layer by layer, you built up this false self. This version of you that knows how to please people, how to avoid criticism, how to stay small so you don't threaten anyone, how to play the game. And that false self has been running your life. And now it's exhausted. Because it takes an enormous amount of energy to be someone you're not. The fatigue you feel is the energy drain of living a lie. Not a malicious lie, not a conscious deception, but the lie of pretending that you're less than you are. The lie of believing that you need to earn your worth. The lie of thinking that happiness is somewhere out there in some achievement or possession or relationship rather than right here, right now, inside of you. So when you're tired of everything, what you're really tired of is the pretending. You're tired of trying to be good enough. You're tired of seeking approval. You're tired of living up to standards that don't even belong to you. You're tired of the anxiety of trying to control everything. You're tired of the disappointment when things don't work out the way you planned. You're tired of carrying around old wounds and resentments. You're tired of the story you've been telling yourself about who you are and what your life has to be. And here's the beautiful thing. You can put it all down. Right now. All of it. You don't have to carry it anymore. You think you have to. You think if you stop trying so hard, everything will fall apart. But I'm here to tell you that when you stop trying to control everything, when you stop pushing and forcing and manipulating, that's when life can actually flow through you the way it's meant to. That's when miracles happen. That's when synchronicities show up. That's when doors open that you didn't even know existed. You see, you've been operating under a false belief. The belief that you are separate from the source of life. You think you're a little separate being all alone in the universe, and you have to fight and struggle to get your piece of the pie. You think life is hard and then you die. You think you have to make things happen through sheer force of will. But that's not how the universe works. You are not separate from life. You are life itself, expressing itself in a unique form. You are connected to everything. You are part of the infinite intelligence that creates worlds and spins galaxies and knows exactly when to make a flower bloom. Right now, As you're reading this, your heart is beating without you telling it to beat. Your lungs are breathing without you reminding them to breathe. Your body is performing millions of functions every single second that you're not even aware of. There's an intelligence within you that knows exactly what to do. And that same intelligence that's running your body, that's keeping you alive without any effort on your part, that intelligence is also trying to run your life. It's trying to guide you. It's trying to show you the way. But you keep overriding it with your thinking, with your fear, with your need to control. When you're tired of everything, it's because you've been trying to do it all yourself. You've been trying to figure it all out. You've been trying to make things happen. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And you weren't meant to live that way. You were meant to be a channel for life to flow through. You were meant to be guided by something larger than your small self. You were meant to trust. Trust. That's a scary word for most people, because trust means letting go. Trust means surrendering. Trust means admitting that you don't have all the answers. And your ego hates that. Your ego wants to be in control. Your ego wants to be important. Your ego wants to take credit when things go well and blame others when things go wrong. But your ego is also what's making you tired, because the ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. It's always comparing. It's always worried about the future or ruminating about the past. The ego cannot be present, and presence is where all your power is. When you're truly present, you're not tired. Think about a moment when you were completely absorbed in something. Maybe you were playing with a child. Maybe you were creating something. Maybe you were in nature. In that moment, you weren't thinking about your problems. You weren't worried about tomorrow. You weren't regretting yesterday. You were just here, now, alive in this moment. And in that moment, you felt energized. You felt connected. You felt like yourself. That's who you really are. You are that presence. You are that awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness that witnesses all of those things. And that consciousness is never tired. It's always here. It's always now. It's always enough. But you've forgotten this. You've identified with your mind instead of identifying with your true self. You think you are your thoughts, so when your thoughts are negative, you feel negative. You think you are your emotions, so when your emotions are painful, you feel like you're suffering. You think you are your story, so when your story is sad, you feel like a victim. But none of that is who you really are. Those are just experiences you're having. They're like weather patterns passing through. You are the sky. The sky doesn't get upset when clouds appear. The sky doesn't worry about storms. The sky is always there, always clear, always spacious, always holding everything with perfect peace. So how do you get back to that? How do you remember who you really are when you're so tired you can barely think straight? You start by being honest. You stop pretending. You stop putting on a brave face. You stop acting like everything is fine when it's not. You admit that you're tired. You admit that you're struggling. You admit that you don't have it all figured out. And you know what happens when you do that? You create space. You create space for truth. You create space for help. You create space for grace. Because right now, you're probably putting on a mask for everyone in your life. You're showing up as the strong one, the capable one, the one who has it together. And meanwhile, inside, you're falling apart. And that disconnect is exhausting. When what you're showing on the outside doesn't match what you're feeling on the inside, it drains your life force. So you have to bring those two things into alignment. You have to let people see the real you, the tired you, the uncertain you, the vulnerable you. And yes, that's scary, because you've been taught that vulnerability is weakness. But actually, vulnerability is courage. Vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is what connects us to each other and to ourselves. When you're tired of everything, you need support. But you can't receive support if you're pretending you don't need it. You can't receive love if your walls are up. You can't receive guidance if you think you already know everything. You have to be willing to say, I need help. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. And when you can admit that, that's when the help arrives, not before. Because the universe doesn't force itself on you. It waits for you to ask. It waits for you to open. It waits for you to be willing. And I'm not just talking about asking other people for help, although that's important too. I'm talking about asking the infinite intelligence within you. Some people call it God. Some people call it the universe. Some people call it higher self or inner being or source. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize there is something bigger than your limited, fearful, ego-based thinking, and that something is always there for you, always guiding you, always supporting you, always loving you. But you have to tune in. You have to get quiet. You have to create space in your life for that voice to be heard. And that's hard in our modern world. We're so addicted to noise and stimulation and distraction. We check our phones 100 times a day. We fill every moment with activity. We're afraid of silence. We're afraid of stillness. Because in the silence, in the stillness, we might have to feel what we've been avoiding. We might have to face what we've been running from. We might have to sit with the pain we've been numbing. But that's exactly what needs to happen. The pain you're avoiding is the pain that's making you tired. It's taking up residence in your body, in your energy field, and it's weighing you down. You think if you ignore it, it will go away. But it doesn't go away. It just gets heavier. It accumulates. It becomes the background noise of your life, draining your vitality, limiting your joy, keeping you stuck in patterns that no longer serve you. So you have to feel it, not think about it. Feel it. Let it move through you. Emotions are just energy in motion. They want to flow. They want to be felt and released. But instead, we judge them. We think some emotions are good and some are bad. We think we should only feel happy and grateful and positive. And when we feel sad or angry or scared, we think something is wrong with us. But nothing is wrong with you. You're just human. And humans feel the full range of emotions. That's what makes us alive. When you're tired of everything, there's probably a lot of unfelt emotions stored up in you. Maybe it's grief over losses you never fully processed. Maybe it's anger at injustices you experienced. Maybe it's fear about the future. Maybe it's shame about your past. Whatever it is, it's taking up space inside you. And that space needs to be cleared out so that your natural energy, your natural vitality, your natural joy can flow again. So give yourself permission to feel. Cry if you need to cry. Scream into a pillow if you need to scream. Hit a punching bag if you need to release some rage. Write in a journal. Talk to a therapist. Move your body. Dance. Shake. Do whatever it takes to let that trapped energy move. Because on the other side of that release is freedom. On the other side of that pain is peace. On the other side of that darkness is light. And here's something else you need to know. Your thoughts create your reality. Not sometimes. Not maybe. Always. Every single thought you think is sending out a vibration into the universe. And the universe responds to that vibration by bringing you experiences that match it. So if you're constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of limitation, of fear, of unworthiness, that's what you're going to experience. If you're always focused on what's wrong, on what's missing, on what's not working, you're going to get more of that. Because the universe doesn't hear your words. It feels your vibration. Right now, if you're tired of everything, you're probably stuck in a very low vibration. You're thinking thoughts like, nothing ever works out for me. I always fail. I'm not good enough. Life is too hard. I can't do this anymore. And every time you think those thoughts, you're reinforcing that reality. You're literally creating more experiences of tiredness, of struggle, of failure. Not because you're a bad person, not because you're being punished, but because that's how the creative process works. Your thoughts are powerful. They're creating your life, whether you realize it or not. So if you want your life to change, you have to change your thoughts. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I can't just think positive thoughts when everything in my life is falling apart. That's fake. That's denial. And you're right. I'm not asking you to pretend everything is great when it's not. I'm not asking you to slap a happy face on your pain. What I'm asking you to do is shift your perspective, to look at your situation differently, to find a new way of interpreting what's happening. Instead of thinking, I'm tired of everything, nothing works, I'm a failure, you could think, I'm tired of living in a way that doesn't match who I really am. This tiredness is a signal that I need to make a change. This is my opportunity to create a new life. See the difference? You're not denying the tiredness. You're reframing it. You're finding the gift in it. You're using it as a catalyst for transformation instead of evidence of defeat. Everything in your life is here to serve you. Everything. Even the hard stuff, especially the hard stuff. Your challenges are not obstacles, they're opportunities. They're not punishments, they're lessons. They're not happening to you, they're happening for you. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this here to teach me? What is this situation asking me to learn? What quality do I need to develop? What belief do I need to release? When you approach your life from this perspective, everything shifts. You stop being a victim. You start being a student. You stop feeling powerless. You start recognizing your power. You stop waiting for life to get better. You start making life better from the inside out. And that's the key, from the inside out. Most people are trying to change their lives from the outside in. They think, if I just get that job, then I'll be happy. If I just find that relationship, then I'll feel complete. If I just make that amount of money, then I'll feel secure. But it doesn't work that way. External circumstances cannot give you internal peace. External achievements cannot fill an internal void. You've probably already figured this out. You've probably already achieved some things you thought would make you happy, and they didn't. Or they did for a little while, and then the emptiness came back. That's because true fulfillment doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from being who you are. It comes from accepting yourself completely. It comes from recognizing that you are already whole, already worthy, already enough, just as you are right now. Not when you lose the weight, not when you get the promotion, not when you find the partner. Now, in this moment, with all your flaws and mistakes and imperfections, you are enough. And I know that's hard to believe, because you've been taught the opposite. You've been taught that you need to improve yourself, that you need to fix yourself, that you need to become someone different in order to be acceptable, to be lovable, to be successful. But that teaching is a lie. It's the biggest lie ever sold, because you are already a perfect expression of life itself. You are already exactly where you need to be. You are already doing the best you can with the awareness you have. And that is enough. Now, this doesn't mean you don't grow. This doesn't mean you don't evolve. This doesn't mean you stay stuck where you are. What it means is that you stop making your growth conditional for your self-acceptance. You stop beating yourself up. You stop the harsh self-criticism. You stop the constant judgment. You treat yourself with the same compassion and kindness you would offer to a small child or a dear friend. You become your own best friend instead of your own worst enemy. When you're tired of everything, you're probably being very hard on yourself. You're probably telling yourself that you should be further along by now, that you should have accomplished more, that you should be different than you are. Every single should is a rejection of what is. Every single should is a way of saying that this moment, this experience, this version of you is not acceptable. And that rejection is what's making you tired. Because you're at war with reality. You're at war with yourself. And that's a war you can never win. So what's the alternative? Acceptance. Not resignation, not giving up, but true acceptance of what is. This is where I am right now. These are my current circumstances. This is how I feel. This is what I'm capable of right now. And that's okay. I accept it. I don't have to like it. I don't have to want to stay here forever. But I can accept it as my current reality without resistance, without judgment, without making it mean something about my worth or my future. When you accept what is, you stop wasting energy fighting against it. And that energy becomes available for something else, for healing, for creativity, for joy, for growth. But as long as you're resisting your current reality, you're stuck in it. Because what you resist persists. What you fight against, you give power to. What you try to run away from follows you wherever you go. So stop running, stop fighting, stop resisting. Just be here, right now, exactly as you are. Feel what you feel. Acknowledge what's true. And breathe. Just breathe. Your breath is your anchor to the present moment. When you're lost in worry about the future or regret about the past, your breath brings you back. When you're overwhelmed by emotion, your breath steadies you. When you're disconnected from yourself, your breath reconnects you. Take a breath right now, a real breath, not a shallow chest breath, but a full, complete breath that fills your entire body. Feel your belly expand. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the life force flowing into you. And then let it go. Release it completely. And as you release that breath, release everything you've been holding on to, the tension, the worry, the fear, the tiredness. Just let it go. Even if just for this one moment, just let it go. And in that space of letting go, notice what's left. Notice the stillness. Notice the peace. Notice the awareness that's always here underneath all the noise, underneath all the drama, underneath all the tiredness. That's who you really are. That's your true nature. And it's always available to you. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to achieve it. You just have to remember it. You just have to come back to it again and again and again. Living from this place changes everything. When you're connected to your true self, you have unlimited energy. Not the frantic, nervous energy of the ego trying to make things happen, but the calm, steady, sustainable energy of life itself flowing through you. You don't have to push, you don't have to force, you just have to allow. You just have to get out of your own way. You just have to trust, and trust is scary. I get it. Trust means you don't know what's going to happen next. Trust means you can't control the outcome. Trust means you might fail, you might look foolish, you might get hurt. But you know what? You're already hurting, you're already tired, you're already suffering from trying to control everything. So what do you really have to lose by trying a different way? What if you lived as if the universe was conspiring in your favor instead of against you? What if you interpreted every event as happening for your highest good, even when you can't see how? What if you believed that you are being guided, supported, and loved by something far greater than you can comprehend? How would your life be different? How would you feel? How would you act? You would stop worrying so much. You would stop trying to figure everything out. You would stop carrying the weight of the world. You would relax. You would open. You would receive. You would play. You would explore. You would create. You would love. You would live. And isn't that what you really want? Underneath all the tiredness, underneath all the struggle, underneath all the pain, don't you just want to feel alive again? Don't you want to wake up in the morning with energy and enthusiasm? Don't you want to feel connected to yourself and others? Don't you want to feel like your life has meaning and purpose? Don't you want to be free? You can have that. Not someday. Not when everything is perfect. Not when you've achieved all your goals. Now, today, in this moment, you can choose it. You can decide that you're done living the old way. You're done pretending. You're done sacrificing your truth to please others. You're done playing small. You're done being tired. You're ready for something new. You're ready to come alive. And the way you do that is by making a different choice. In every moment you have a choice. You can choose fear or love. You can choose separation or connection. You can choose the ego or the true self. You can choose to listen to the voice in your head that says you're not enough, or you can choose to listen to the voice in your heart that says you're everything. Every single moment, you get to choose. And every choice you make creates your life. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to keep living the way you've been living, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, getting the same results? Or are you going to try something different? Are you going to take a risk? Are you going to step into the unknown? Are you going to trust that maybe, just maybe, there's a better way? I'm telling you there is. There's a way to live that doesn't leave you exhausted at the end of every day. There's a way to work that doesn't feel like drudgery. There's a way to relate that doesn't drain your energy. There's a way to be that feels natural and effortless and true. But you have to be willing to let go of everything you think you know. You have to be willing to question all your assumptions. You have to be willing to start over. And starting over doesn't mean throwing your whole life away. It means starting over internally. It means clearing out all the old programming, all the limiting beliefs, all the false identities you've been carrying around. It means returning to that place of pure potential you came from. It means remembering who you were before the world told you who you should be. That person is still inside you. That free, creative, joyful, unlimited being is still there underneath all the layers of conditioning. And that being is not tired. That being is full of life. That being wants to express itself. That being wants to play. That being wants to create. That being wants to love. But it's been buried under years of should and have to, and what will people think? It's been suffocated by responsibility and obligation and duty. It's been forgotten in the hustle of trying to survive, trying to succeed, trying to prove your worth. But it's time to remember. It's time to let that being come out. It's time to let yourself be who you really are. And yes, that might mean making some changes in your life. It might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It might mean leaving a job that's killing your spirit. It might mean moving to a new place. It might mean saying no to things you've always said yes to. It might mean disappointing people who want you to stay the same. But is that really scarier than staying where you are? Is disappointing others really worse than betraying yourself? Is change really more frightening than spending the rest of your life being tired of everything? I don't think so. I think the scariest thing of all is getting to the end of your life and realizing you never really lived. You never took the chance. You never tried. You played it safe the whole way, and you missed out on the adventure that life was offering you. Don't let that happen. Don't let fear run your life. Don't let other people's opinions determine your choices. Don't let the past dictate your future. You are not your history. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are infinite possibility. You are pure potential. You are life itself, expressing itself uniquely through you. And that life wants to flow. It wants to move. It wants to expand. It wants to grow. But it needs your cooperation. It needs you to get out of the way. It needs you to stop blocking it with your limiting thoughts and beliefs. So how do you do that? How do you get out of the way? You become aware of your thoughts. You watch them like you would watch clouds passing in the sky. You notice when you're thinking limiting thoughts, and you gently redirect your attention to something that serves you better. You practice gratitude for what you have instead of focusing on what you lack. You look for the good in every situation instead of dwelling on what's wrong. You speak kindly to yourself instead of engaging in harsh self-criticism. These practices might sound simple, but they're not easy, because you have years of habitual thinking patterns to overcome. Your brain has carved deep grooves of negativity and limitation. Those thoughts come automatically. But here's the thing, just because a thought arises doesn't mean you have to believe it. Just because your mind says something doesn't make it true. You can observe the thought, acknowledge it, and let it go without attaching to it, without identifying with it, without acting on it. This is the practice of mindfulness, of conscious awareness, of choosing your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. And when you practice this consistently, your life begins to change. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, steadily, surely. You start to feel better, you have more energy, you see possibilities where you used to see only problems. You feel more peaceful, more joyful, more alive. And as you change internally, your external world begins to shift. Opportunities appear, synchronicities happen, the right people show up at the right time, doors open, things flow. Not because you're forcing them to, but because you're in alignment. You're vibrating at a higher frequency, you're attracting different experiences. You're creating from a different place. This is not wishful thinking. This is not fantasy. This is how the universe works. Everything is energy. Everything is vibration, and like attracts like. When you're vibrating at the frequency of tiredness, of struggle, of limitation, that's what you attract. But when you raise your vibration, when you connect with your true self, when you align with love instead of fear, everything changes. Your entire life transforms. But you have to do the work. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can think your thoughts for you. Nobody can choose for you. This is your life, your responsibility, your opportunity. And every single day, you get to decide. You get to choose what you're going to focus on, what you're going to believe, what you're going to create. So if you're tired of everything right now, that's okay. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Honor it. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it define you. Don't let it become your identity. Instead, let it be the catalyst for change. Let it be the wake-up call you needed. Let it be the beginning of your transformation. Because on the other side of this tiredness is a life you can't even fathom right now. A life of freedom and joy and purpose and peace. A life where you wake up excited to be alive. A life where you're doing work that matters to you. A life where your relationships are authentic and fulfilling. A life where you feel connected to something greater than yourself. A life where you're expressing your unique gifts and talents. A life where you're making a difference. A life where you're truly, fully, completely yourself. That life is possible for you, not because you're special, not because you're lucky, but because you're human, and this is your birthright. This is what you came here for, to experience the fullness of life, to express the magnificence of your being, to contribute your piece to the great tapestry of existence, to love and be loved, to create and to play, to learn and to grow, to be free, and it starts right here, right now, in this moment, with one choice, one decision, one commitment, the commitment to yourself, the commitment to wake up, the commitment to remember who you really are, the commitment to stop living someone else's life and start living your own, the commitment to honor your truth, to follow your heart, to trust your inner guidance, no matter what anyone else thinks or says or does. This is your moment, this is your time. You've been preparing for this your whole life, even if you didn't know it. Every challenge you've faced has made you stronger. Every failure has taught you something valuable. Every painful experience has opened your heart and expanded your consciousness. Nothing has been wasted. Everything has been necessary. Everything has brought you to this exact moment, reading these exact words, feeling this exact feeling, and this moment is perfect. Because it's real, because it's true, because it's yours. So take a breath. Feel your body. Notice that you're alive. Notice that your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, life is flowing through you right now. And in this moment, in this breath, make a decision. Decide that you're done being tired of everything. Decide that you're ready for something new. Decide that you're going to trust, that you're going to surrender, that you're going to open, that you're going to let life lead you instead of trying to control everything. And then take one small step, not a giant leap, not a dramatic gesture, just one small step in a new direction. Maybe it's finally making that phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been curious about. Maybe it's having that conversation you've been afraid to have. Maybe it's simply sitting in silence for 5 minutes and listening to what your inner wisdom wants to tell you. Whatever it is, do it. Take action. Because action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. And as you take that step, know that you're not alone. You're supported by forces you cannot see but can always feel if you tune in. The entire universe is on your side. Life itself wants you to succeed, to thrive, to flourish. You are loved beyond measure by the source that created you. You are held in an embrace of infinite compassion. You are guided by a wisdom that knows exactly where you need to go and how to get you there. All you have to do is trust. All you have to do is allow. All you have to do is say, yes, yes, to life, yes to love, yes to yourself, yes to the adventure, yes to the unknown, yes to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, the best is yet to come, that maybe this tiredness is not the end but the beginning, that maybe you're not falling apart but falling together, that maybe you're not losing yourself but finding yourself for the very first time. This is your invitation. This is your calling. This is your chance. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let doubt convince you that you can't do it. You can. You absolutely can. Because you are more powerful than you know. You are more capable than you believe. You are more loved than you can imagine. And you are never, ever alone. So get up, stand up, take that first step, and then take another, and another. And before you know it, you'll be living a completely different life. A life that fills you with energy instead of draining you. A life that inspires you instead of exhausting you. A life that reflects who you really are instead of who you thought you had to be. A life worth living. A life worth celebrating. Your life, the one you were always meant to live. The one that's been waiting for you to claim it. The one that begins right now, in this moment, with this choice. Choose life. Choose love. Choose yourself. Choose freedom. And watch everything transform. Right now, in this very moment, someone is thinking about you. Someone is waking up to the truth of who you really are. They're seeing past the masks, past the walls, past all the things you thought you needed to hide. And here's what I want you to understand. They're not seeing your flaws. They're not focusing on your mistakes. They're seeing your light. They're recognizing something magnificent in you that perhaps you haven't even recognized in yourself yet. You see, we spend so much of our lives worried about what people think of us. We wake up in the morning and we put on our armor. We rehearse our conversations. We try to control how others perceive us. We edit ourselves. We diminish ourselves. We make ourselves smaller because somewhere along the way someone told us that who we are isn't quite enough. But here's the truth that will set you free. You were never meant to be anyone other than exactly who you are. Think about this for a moment. There are over 8 billion people on this planet, And not one of them has your exact combination of experiences, talents, perspectives, and gifts. Not one. You are literally a once-in-all-of-eternity event. The universe will never again create another you. So, when you're trying to be like someone else, when you're dimming your light to make others comfortable, when you're hiding your true self because you're afraid of judgment, you're actually depriving the world of something it desperately needs. You're withholding your gift. And right now, someone is waking up to that gift. Maybe it's someone you've known for years, and suddenly they're seeing you with new eyes. Maybe it's someone new who's just entered your life and they can see clearly what you've been too close to recognize. Maybe it's someone who's been taking you for granted, and life has shown them what it would be like without you. Whoever it is, they're having a moment of clarity about you, and that clarity is going to change things. But here's what I really want you to hear. The most important person who needs to wake up about you is you. Because you can't attract what you don't believe you deserve. You can't receive love if you don't love yourself. You can't be appreciated by others in the way you deserve if you don't first appreciate yourself. Everything in your external world is a reflection of your internal world. When you change the way you look at yourself, the way others look at you will change too. So many of us are walking around with an outdated story about ourselves. We're operating from a script that was written years ago, maybe decades ago, by people who didn't even know us. Maybe it was a parent who was struggling with their own issues. Maybe it was a teacher who had a bad day. Maybe it was a relationship that ended badly. And we took those moments, those judgments, those rejections, and we made them mean something about our worth. We created an identity around them. But those stories aren't true. They never were. You are not the sum of other people's opinions. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not limited by what didn't work out before. Every single moment is a new opportunity to choose differently, to think differently, to be different. You are not a fixed entity. You are a constantly evolving expression of infinite potential. When someone wakes up about you, what they're really doing is seeing past the false self you've been projecting and recognizing the real you underneath. They're seeing the kindness in your heart that you try to protect. They're noticing the strength you've developed through your struggles. They're appreciating the unique way you see the world. They're valuing the contribution you make just by being yourself. And this is happening right now. While you're listening to these words, someone's mind is turning toward you with appreciation, with respect, with love, with admiration. They're realizing they haven't told you how much you matter. They're recognizing they took you for granted. They're understanding, maybe for the first time, how rare and valuable you truly are. But let me tell you something else. Even if no one else ever wakes up about you, even if you never receive the recognition you deserve from the outside world, you still have an obligation to wake up about yourself. Because your worth is not determined by whether others see it. Your value is inherent. It exists whether anyone acknowledges it or not. You are worthy because you exist, not because of what you do or what you achieve or who validates you. This is one of the hardest lessons we have to learn. We've been conditioned to seek approval from external sources. We've been taught that our value comes from our accomplishments, our appearance, our status, our relationships. But all of that is temporary. All of that can change. All of that is outside of your control. The only thing that's permanent, the only thing that's truly yours, is your essential nature, your spirit, your authentic self. When you connect with that part of yourself, when you wake up to your own magnificence, everything shifts. You stop needing validation because you're already validated from within. You stop seeking approval because you approve of yourself. You stop waiting for permission to be yourself because you realize you never needed permission in the first place. You were born with the right to be exactly who you are. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be saying, but you don't know what I've done. You don't know the mistakes I've made. You don't know how many times I've failed. You don't know the things I'm ashamed of. And you're right, I don't know your specific story. But I do know this, your past does not define you unless you let it. Your mistakes are not who you are. They're what you did at a moment in time when you didn't know better, when you were hurt, when you were confused, when you were disconnected from your true self. Forgiveness isn't just about letting others off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of the past. It's about recognizing that you did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. And now you have more awareness. Now you know better. Now you can choose differently. That's not weakness. That's growth. That's evolution. That's being human. Someone waking up about you right now is seeing this growth. They're recognizing how far you've come. They're noticing the changes you've made, even the ones you think are too small to matter. They're seeing your effort, your commitment, your resilience. They're understanding that who you are today is not who you were yesterday, and who you'll be tomorrow is still being created. And this person who's waking up about you, they might express it, or they might not. They might tell you how they feel, or they might keep it to themselves. But the energy of their awakening is already affecting your life. You might feel it as a subtle shift in how they interact with you. You might notice they're more attentive, more caring, more present, or you might not notice anything at all on the surface, but something has changed in the invisible realm where all real change happens first. Because here's what most people don't understand. Everything is energy first before it becomes form. Every relationship, every opportunity, every change in your life begins as an energetic shift. Someone thinking about you differently is already creating a different reality. Someone appreciating you is already sending that appreciation out into the universe, and the universe responds to that frequency. This is why it's so important to monitor what you think about yourself. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, if you're always focusing on what's wrong with you, if you're perpetually disappointed in yourself, you're broadcasting that frequency. And the universe, which is always listening, always responding, brings you more experiences that match that frequency. It's not punishment. It's not bad luck. It's just the law of attraction working perfectly, giving you more of whatever you're focused on. But when you start to wake up about yourself, when you start to see yourself through the eyes of love instead of judgment, when you start to appreciate your own unique gifts and talents, you broadcast a completely different frequency. And then the universe brings you people who see you that way too. It brings you opportunities that match your new self-concept. It brings you experiences that reflect your new understanding of who you are. This is not magical thinking. This is spiritual law. Like attracts like. What you put out comes back to you. As within, so without. These aren't just nice sayings. They're descriptions of how reality actually works. Your external world is a mirror of your internal world. Always has been, always will be. So when someone is waking up about you right now, see it as confirmation that you're waking up about yourself. See it as evidence that the work you're doing on yourself, the healing you're doing, the growing you're doing, is working. See it as a sign that you're on the right path, that you're becoming more aligned with your true self, that you're letting go of the false beliefs that have held you back. And if you're not seeing this evidence yet in your external world, don't worry. Don't lose faith. Don't give up. The lag time between internal change and external manifestation is different for everyone. Sometimes it happens quickly. Sometimes it takes longer, but it always happens eventually if you stay consistent with your new way of thinking and being. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be completely healed or completely awakened. You just have to be willing. Willing to see yourself differently, willing to question the old stories, willing to try a new approach, willing to be kind to yourself, willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, you're more wonderful than you've been giving yourself credit for. And here's something beautiful. When you wake up about yourself, you naturally start waking up about others too. You start seeing the light in them. You start recognizing their struggles and their strengths. You start having more compassion, more understanding, more love. Because when you're not so busy defending and protecting your false self, when you're not so consumed with your own insecurities and fears, you have space to really see other people. This is how healing spreads. This is how love multiplies. This is how the world changes. One person wakes up about themselves, then they help others wake up, and those people help others, and it ripples out in ways we can't even measure. Your awakening matters. Your healing matters. Your decision to see yourself truthfully and lovingly matters more than you know. Right now, someone is waking up about you, but the question is, are you waking up about you? Are you ready to let go of the old story? Are you ready to stop believing the lies? Are you ready to see yourself as you truly are, magnificent, worthy, deserving, capable, powerful, lovable, exactly as you are right now? You don't have to wait until you lose weight. You don't have to wait until you make more money. You don't have to wait until you find the right relationship or get the right job or achieve the right status. You can decide right now, in this moment, to wake up about yourself. You can choose right now to see yourself through the eyes of truth instead of the eyes of fear. And when you do that, something miraculous happens. The people around you start to reflect that new understanding back to you. They start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. They start respecting you more because you respect yourself more. They start loving you more openly because you're loving yourself more openly. Not because they've changed, but because you have. Not because they suddenly became better people, but because you're no longer settling for less than you deserve. This is personal power. Not the kind that tries to control others or manipulate situations. Not the kind that needs to dominate or prove anything, but the kind that comes from knowing who you are and standing firmly in that truth. The kind that doesn't need validation because it's already validated from within. The kind that doesn't fear rejection because it knows its worth is inherent, not conditional. Someone is waking up about you right now, and it's changing the trajectory of your life. It's opening doors you didn't even know were there. It's creating opportunities you couldn't have planned for. It's bringing you connections you couldn't have forced. Because when someone sees you truly, when they recognize your value, when they appreciate your authentic self, they want to support you, help you, collaborate with you, love you, be near you. But remember, their awakening about you is really a mirror of your own awakening about yourself. They can only see in you what you're ready to be seen. They can only appreciate in you what you're willing to own. They can only love in you what you're no longer hiding. So the real work, the important work, is your internal work. It's your decision to see yourself clearly. It's your choice to love yourself fully. It's your commitment to being authentically yourself. And when you make that commitment, when you decide that you're done hiding, done pretending, done diminishing yourself, done apologizing for existing, everything changes. Not overnight, maybe. Not all at once, perhaps. But steadily, surely, inevitably. Because you've aligned yourself with truth, and truth always prevails. You've aligned yourself with love, and love always wins. You've aligned yourself with your authentic self, and authenticity always attracts what's meant for you. So many people are waiting for the right time, waiting for the right circumstances, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they're sure. But here's what I've learned. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never be completely sure. You'll never have all the answers. You have to start before you're ready. You have to take the leap before you can see the net. You have to believe in yourself before you have all the evidence. Someone waking up about you right now is giving you that evidence. It's showing you that you are seen, you are valued, you are appreciated, but don't wait for that external validation to decide you're worthy. Decide it now. Decide it yourself. Give yourself the validation you've been waiting for. Give yourself the approval you've been seeking. Give yourself the love you've been wanting. Because here's the truth. You can't receive from others what you're not willing to give yourself. If you don't value yourself, other people's validation will never feel like enough. If you don't love yourself, other people's love will never fill the void. If you don't believe in yourself, other people's belief will never convince you. The only lasting source of worthiness is the one that comes from within. This doesn't mean you don't need people. We're social beings. We're meant to connect, to love, to support each other. But it means you don't need them to complete you. You're already complete. They're not filling a void. They're celebrating what's already there. They're not making you worthy. They're recognizing the worthiness that already exists. When you understand this, relationships become so much richer. Love becomes so much freer. Connection becomes so much more authentic. Because you're not coming from a place of need. You're coming from a place of wholeness. You're not trying to get something. You're trying to share something. You're not looking to be saved. You're looking to co-create. Someone waking up about you right now is seeing this shift in you. They're noticing that you're different. You're more centered. You're more confident. You're more peaceful. You're more yourself. And it's attractive. Not in a superficial way, but in a real, substantial, meaningful way. Because authenticity is magnetic. Self-love is attractive. Inner peace is powerful, and the more you cultivate these qualities within yourself, the more you'll attract people who appreciate them. You'll stop attracting people who need you to be small so they can feel big. You'll stop attracting people who need you to be broken so they can feel like the fixer. You'll stop attracting people who need you to doubt yourself so they can control you. Instead, you'll attract people who celebrate your growth, support your healing, and encourage your authenticity. This is what happens when you wake up about yourself. Your whole world rearranges itself to match your new understanding. People who can't resonate with the new you will naturally fall away. Not because you're rejecting them, but because there's no longer a vibrational match. And new people will come in, people who match where you are now, people who can meet you at this new level of awareness and authenticity. Don't mourn the relationships that end when you change. Bless them and release them. They served a purpose. They taught you something. They were part of your path, but now you're on a different part of the path, and you need different companions. Trust that the right people will show up at the right time. They always do when you're being true to yourself. Someone waking up about you right now might be one of those new people, or it might be someone who's been in your life all along but is finally ready to see you clearly. Either way, it's happening because you're ready for it. It's happening because you've done the work. It's happening because you've raised your frequency. It's happening because you've decided you're worth it, and you are worth it. You're worth the effort it takes to heal. You're worth the courage it takes to change. You're worth the discomfort of growth. You're worth the risk of being authentic. You're worth the vulnerability of being seen. You're worth the patience of waiting for what's right instead of settling for what's available. You're worth all of it, and more. When you really get this, when you really understand your worth at the cellular level, you stop tolerating things that diminish you. You stop accepting treatment that disrespects you. You stop staying in situations that drain you, not from a place of arrogance or superiority, but from a place of self-honoring. You're simply recognizing that your time, your energy, your life is precious, and you get to choose how to spend it. This isn't selfish. This is self-care. This is wisdom. This is spiritual maturity, because when you honor yourself, you teach others how to honor you. When you respect yourself, you set the standard for how you'll be treated. When you love yourself, you create the foundation for all other love in your life. Someone waking up about you right now is learning this lesson through you. They're seeing how you've changed, how you've grown, how you've started honoring yourself, and it's teaching them something. Maybe it's showing them what's possible. Maybe it's inspiring them to do their own work. Maybe it's holding up a mirror to where they've been taking you for granted. Whatever the lesson is, your growth is serving them, even if they don't say it. This is the ripple effect of awakening. When you change, everything around you has to change to accommodate the new you. Some people will rise to meet you. Some won't. Some will celebrate your growth. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will come closer. Some will move away. All of that is okay. All of that is part of the process. Your job isn't to control how others respond to your growth. Your job is to keep growing. And right now, in this moment, as someone is waking up about you, you have a choice. You can dismiss it. You can deflect it. You can tell yourself they're wrong or they don't really see you. Or you can receive it. You can let it in. You can allow yourself to be seen, to be appreciated, to be valued. You can let it be evidence that you're on the right path, that your work is paying off, that you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Receiving is just as important as giving. In fact, your ability to receive determines how much good can flow into your life. If you deflect compliments, if you dismiss appreciation, if you reject love, you're literally pushing away the very things you say you want. You have to be willing to receive. You have to be willing to let people see you. You have to be willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, they're right about you. This takes practice, especially if you're used to being invisible, to playing small, to deflecting attention. But it gets easier. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You start to realize that letting people appreciate you isn't arrogant. It's generous. You're allowing them the joy of giving. You're allowing them to see beauty. You're allowing them to express love. You're giving them a gift by receiving their gift. Someone is waking up about you right now, and they want to tell you, they want to show you. They want you to know how much you matter, how much you've impacted them, how much they value you. Will you let them? Will you receive it? Will you let it nourish you? Or will you brush it off, minimize it, tell yourself they don't mean it? Your response to their awakening matters, not because it affects your worth, but because it affects your experience of life. If you can't receive love, appreciation, and recognition when it comes, you'll always feel starved no matter how much people offer. But if you can open yourself to receive, if you can let it in, if you can say thank you and actually feel it, you'll feel nourished, you'll feel seen, you'll feel connected. And that feeling, that experience of being truly seen and valued, will reinforce your new understanding of yourself. It will strengthen your self-love. It will confirm your worthiness. Not because you need their validation, but because it aligns with what you now know to be true about yourself. It's an echo of your own inner knowing reflected back to you through another person. This is the dance of relationships. We're all mirrors for each other. We're all reflecting back various aspects of each other. When someone wakes up about you, They're showing you something about yourself that you're ready to own. They're highlighting a quality, a strength, a gift that you've been developing. They're confirming what your soul already knows, but your mind might still doubt. So pay attention to what people are noticing about you. Pay attention to what they're appreciating, complimenting, valuing. These aren't random. They're clues. They're showing you what's emerging in you, what's becoming more visible, what you're ready to fully step into. Don't dismiss them. Don't minimize them. Learn from them. Let them guide you toward fuller expression of your authentic self. Right now, someone is waking up about you, and this is just the beginning. As you continue to wake up about yourself, as you continue to grow and heal and become more authentically you, more people will wake up too. More people will see you. More people will appreciate you. More people will value you. Not because you're trying to impress them or win them over, but because you're simply being yourself, and that's magnetic, that's powerful, that's irresistible. Your authentic self is your greatest gift to the world. Not some improved version of yourself, not some future version when you finally got it all together, but the you that exists right now, with all your quirks and flaws and struggles and strengths, the real you, the unfiltered you, the you that shows up even when you're not perfect, even when you're uncertain, even when you're still figuring it out. That's the you someone is waking up about right now. That's the you they're seeing and valuing and appreciating. Not some fake version, not some carefully curated version, the real you. And the more you can show that version, the more you can be that version, the more you can love that version, the more others will wake up about you too. This is your invitation. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to finally, completely, wholeheartedly wake up about yourself. To see yourself as you truly are. To love yourself as you deserve to be loved. To honor yourself as the precious, unique, irreplaceable being that you are. Someone else is already doing it. Someone else is already seeing it. Now it's your turn. Wake up about yourself. The world is waiting for the real you.